they don't have a podcast studio like the place we went to, UNITA, but I kind of just jerry rig one.
No, this is great.
I think it works well because you got a little plant there.
That's all you
nice
need.
Little view.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It does get kind of hot in here, but thankfully we're doing the morning.
Yeah, we'll be good.
So I guess we're live, so I'll go and get it started.
Cool.
My name is Brandon, here with Khalel.
Nice to meet everybody.
Go ahead and introduce yourself if you...
My name is Khalel Dumaz. I'm the founder of Pocket Coach AI, focused on helping aspiring entrepreneurs, small businesses develop their business ideas, not just develop them, but actually have an AI assistant execute some of the tasks that are required to develop their business ideas.
Nice.
In short.
Well, we met actually at the local anchor panel. How do you know Laura?
Laura is a friend of my wife, actually. They have done work together for many years. My wife, when we first were having children, she found a community, and Laura was a part of that community. And they just had stayed in touch for many years. Laura had no idea what I did for a living. And my wife's friends always ask, what does your husband do? They always want to know. And so my wife was finally like, let me just let people know. And sure enough, that kind of spawned like, not just Laura, but quite a few people, reaching out to me about learning more about what I do, asking for help because I do web design, mobile app design. I've been in product design for many, many years, working from Amazon to Fanatics to Disney, all over the place. And so that spawned to like the opportunity to sort of get with Laura and do the panel.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. When I met you, I was just like, wow, this guy is definitely in line with what we're doing here at Demystify.
Yeah.
And it's great because she was able to cultivate a great selection of people for that one event. The way I know Laura is she's like every chamber in the South Bay. So I have a friend, Nadine. She helped introduce me to Laura, and then Laura was like, wow, I need AI help too. Can you do a panel? And so that's how it all started.
Okay.
But she's a great person.
She's awesome.
Extremely well networked in South Bay, and I'm South Bay born and raised. So
same.
So we're both from here, and we want to give back. The community is huge for us.
100%.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, so on your AI journey currently, how did you get started with Pocket Coach AI?
It was actually a struggle I was personally having, which was, I had been using ChatGPT since it came out, really, and I had an idea, I didn't have necessarily an idea, but I was using it in a way that spawned an idea, where I was in ChatGPT and I'm doing work, and then I'm putting that somewhere else, and I'm like, I'm putting tasks here, I'm getting tasks, and I'm doing all this sort of manual work to move information from ChatGPT to somewhere else. And then it just dawned on me like, wait a minute. I wonder if I can build like a system or a platform to do a lot of this work for me, right? Using AI to kind of, instead of me having to take my task or parts of my idea and move them to Notion, because that's what I use. What if I just had an all-in-one solution? What if I created that where I have this idea, I have this thing I want to do, and I need a way to sort of task it all out that I can own, and see, and not live inside of the ChatGPT box, if that makes sense, right?
Right.
So the idea was just to sort of bust it out that box. That's where it started at, and then it just kind of evolved. Like that was just a small part of it. Then it evolved as I started getting into like, wait a minute, this can work. Oh, wait a minute, and then I did it's like an 80-page research paper I did just on entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Right. Just trying to understand like the mindset of entrepreneurs and what they struggle with. Turns out the start is trying to really take those unstructured ideas and like task them out and like create and develop the plan behind it. And it's a lot of work. And so, what I'm trying to do is like make that more efficient using AI because it can do everything for the most part, except the human-related tasks.
I love the name because it is truly like a coach.
Yes.
And everyone needs that personal trainer, but for business, for life. I think there was one quote that I heard. It was like, everyone in life needs a business coach and a therapist.
Yes. You got it.
You
got it.
Right. Those are the two things, like someone to help your mental coach and then one to help your business.
That's right. So the idea, we want to try to put Mark Cuban in your back pocket along with the framework of a Notion or a Jira.
Yeah, and that's who Nadine is actually to me. She's our business strategist.
Oh yeah.
So when I first got started and got this place, I was thinking to myself, I need someone to check me. I need someone to, because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
I mean, I've started business before, but they've didn't do too well.
Well, that's part of the journey.
So I need someone to like guide me and keep me accountable to things that and I wish Pocket Coach AI was there for me back then, because it's definitely an app and it's a lot more 24/7
Right.
versus, and then probably more affordable too.
Yes.
So it definitely all around keeps you accountable.
Yeah. You think about a business coach, you can spend anywhere from like the minimal I saw for a business coach, even for myself, it's like $2,500 a month.
Right? Yes. Up to for sure.
10,
easily. Especially depending on how big you want to grow.
Yes.
Like if you want the right mentor.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So back to Pocket Coach AI a little bit about the development aspect. So I guess for your development journey, do you have any coding experience, and how have you been able to leverage your coding experience and managerial experience to build what you're building now?
Yeah, so
has it been hard?
It has been challenging, but I have been in product design and product management. Like I've been in that world for a while, and I do have coding experience. But understanding like the framework, like I got Scrum certified very early when Scrum was just kind of taking off. And I had a really, really good mentor, Phil Mark and Mooney. Like I worked with them at Loot Crate, and Art Champezo. These guys really, really influenced and inspired my mentality around like how to develop something, like the path to building something sustainable and like correctly.
Correct.
Like I don't like, a lot of times, a lot of startups fall into this, I won't call it a trap necessary, but this mindset of I need to build it really, really fast, even though it's cheap and done and lacks of quality, and then it's built on like sand and gum and paper from a development standpoint, right?
Right. Spaghetti code.
Yes.
Really bad.
I don't want to start that way. I'd rather take time and start on a clean foundation. Right now, our Pocket Coach Foundation is really, really clean.
Yeah.
Like it's solid. It can be scaled easily, right? All the APIs, the mobile and web, they're the same. Like it works.
Yeah.
And so I have, answering your question directly, I've definitely been able to leverage that experience from Amazon and from all these other places, and then those mentors I mentioned to build the first layer of Pocket Coach AI. Like I found the developers, I evaluated them, right? I got an understanding of what they're capable of, and I created tasks for them, and I I created milestones, and I checked
your
that,
own
right?
kind of Jira board.
Yes,
right.
Jira board it all, and then AI is also helping. So I've been using ChatGPT to help me formulate some of this stuff as well. So things are just with the introduction of AI and where it is today, it's been a lot easier to do this stuff. And you know,
I know. It's been cheaper than ever.
Yes.
Easier than ever.
Yes.
To create software, and there's really no excuse anymore.
No excuse.
No excuse at this point. As long as you have time and you're waking up at a reasonable time every day, it's really just you putting pedal to the metal, the elbow grease, and getting it done.
If you have a phone and time, you can go.
And we have phone. We have phones and time. So
everybody has a phone.
Yeah,
kids have phones. I don't think they should have them.
I don't think so either.
But they have them.
What is the age at which you give your kids a phone, or do they have phones?
Oh, no. So my kids are 8, 10, and going on 12 next month. I told them they won't get phones till they're 16.
Oh wow, no way.
Oh no, they don't need phones.
Oh, it's crazy.
Now I did get them all Apple Watches
for tracking.
Right.
Right. So safety purposes.
They can still call me.
Okay.
They can do everything they need to do that you would want a kid to have a phone for.
I'm impressed, Khalel. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's $10 a month.
Yeah.
Right. The watches were what, $200 for my oldest. I usually get a new one, not every year anymore.
Yeah.
This is the last new one I'm going to get for a while, but
it's just hand me down, right?
Yeah. That's what I do. I just go, you know what? I'm going to hand it down to you. It's no point
just don't break it.
Yeah. Just hand it down. So he has a Series 8. The other two have SEs, and they're great. I got Apple Care on them. If they break them, go give me a new one. It just works, right? So that's my way of like not trying to enter them in a world it's just too much out there. And kids get exposed to a lot when they have these devices.
They're already going to expose to it for their friends.
Yes.
So they might as well, it's already going to be double damage if you give them the phone.
Right. And I have friends.
But it takes good self-control, because a lot of parents will just be like, all right, you know what? YouTube, shut up. Right? Or hey, Instagram, shut up.
That's
right?
The problem.
But yeah, you're actually raising them how we were raised. Almost. Right. I didn't get a phone until I was 16 as well.
I didn't get a phone until I went off to college.
And it was a flip phone.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. College is insane.
That's when my mom was like, okay, here's a phone for you. And I was like, okay, cool.
Okay.
And I didn't really care.
I think they're going to eventually benefit from that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like learning control.
Yeah.
And you're actually demystifying a technology by giving them the watch at least. So they're like, okay, I know how it works and stuff.
Right.
You're not cutting all technology out.
Oh, no, they have iPads, but they're for school, right? They
There's
get to play with them.
SMS.
Yeah, no.
Data. They don't get data on it.
They get, so the way it's set up for us, like they go to a private school and they can play with their devices like regular play with them on Friday, Saturday, and a little bit of Sunday.
Okay.
That's it though.
Yeah.
Right, during school, like that's your time, that's your window. That's kind of how we structure it. And then everything has to be done though. So in order to qualify for it,
I love it.
Homework has to be done. I need to check the test for the week and like all that stuff needs to be solid. Cool. Here's your device. And then I have Eero, right? So I have it locked down. I can turn the network on and off.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
So I have it
I'm cutting it off now.
Like, yeah. It's like really dialed in.
You guys reached your max. Like off.
8:30, it shuts down. Right. So it's very, very structured that way.
Between you and your wife, who would you say is more of the good cop, bad cop, like managerial?
Ooh, that's a great question. I actually never thought about good. I'm more of the manager.
Really?
Yeah, I'm more.
That's awesome.
I'm more of the manager because she's a therapist, and I don't know if you know, but during the pandemic, therapy went.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
So she has been. She got super duper busy then, and it ramped up. So she's pretty busy, right? So it leaves me with the kids a lot, which is fine. Since I work from home, it works out well. But I'm usually the one doing a lot of the management because I am there with them. So I'm creating these structures. I'm setting of these things up. So there's not necessarily a good cop, bad cop per se. Like I wouldn't put it that way. It's just the management and sort of the hand holding for the most part. A lot of it is on me, a good chunk of the time. And then she kind of fills in with other areas that are more, because she's a therapist, she'll have other, what I want to call them, ideas around how to get them mentally stronger, right? In terms of like emotional health and well-being.
Awesome. It seems like you're building some healthy kids.
I'm trying to. I want them to be.
Yeah.
The most important thing for me is making sure our kids
mentally, physically,
emotionally, like solid and happy with what they have and feel appreciation for other people, right? Like even having to talk to them about what happened to us as Black people in the past. Like I always tell them, like that was that set of group of people. Yeah. That was just them. So that doesn't carry on to everybody. Now there might be some sprinkles here and there, but that's not everybody. So just treat everybody fairly. Treat everybody kind. Like don't worry about that.
Yes.
That's all.
What you put out is what you get, and vice versa.
Exactly. That energy you expend putting out, you will probably get that back. Whether it's negative or positive, you're gonna get it back.
That's so great. I love that.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. I'd love to meet your wife one day too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I mean, you probably will because we're gonna be.
Oh, okay. You're serious about that? Okay.
I'm definitely serious. That's for sure. As soon as I get back, I'm gonna tell her. But yeah, we're trying to do the best we can, and it's challenging. Like you, like I told you earlier, you brought up a good point around like, and I'll have kids when I've made it. That's not wrong.
Oh, I know.
It's not wrong. Like even going down a path of marriage and everything, like it's probably better to establish yourself as best you can first.
Marriage is one of those things I've thought about because I've seen a lot of my friends getting married, and it's everywhere, right? Psychologically, it's very not tolling, but it definitely affects how you behave.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, wow, you know what? If she's the one, I'm just like, might as well just get it done now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, why not wait? Why wait? I mean,
that's
for that part at least.
Yeah.
But then the kids part is definitely, I know how much finances take a toll on me, my decision making.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes it doesn't affect other people, which I don't know how that happens, but right? You know those people, right?
Yep.
We're like, wow, you guys have this mental fortitude to just not worry about that. But for me, it's huge. And so I don't want that to trickle down to anybody, especially my kids.
Right.
So I need to make sure we're good. And all I can do right now is rely on my grit.
Yeah.
Just keep grinding, and then hopefully something pan out.
There's no hopefully, it will pan out because you're grinding and you're going down a path.
And as long as I'm not stupid with it.
That's it.
Be conservative with your invest properly, all that stuff. So
just be smart. And
be smart.
There's tools, right?
There's
tools,
no
excuses anymore.
There's no excuses. This is the No Excuses podcast.
Yes. Seriously, that's actually good.
Yeah. If you want to we can grab I'm going to grab my coffee.
Okay.
Okay. So I was going to ask you about Cintra AI.
Cintra.
Yeah. So I just signed up for it, and I got the deal, like you said. You're like, it's a 30% off thing, and I'm like, hell yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Sold immediately. Well, how are you using it currently? Like, you're obviously a power user by now, or
yes,
because I feel like Cintra is missing some other people. I feel like they're missing a graphic designer, like a marketing, like a branding, I get your business brand and then maybe one for business coach.
Yeah.
Right. They have everything else, but what is your experience right now with Cintra?
Yeah, Cintra is my best friend. It's like literally my other brain, right? Because as you know, you can like upload these braids. Yeah. Basically, you're uploading everything that you want it to know about you to help you. You're uploading that, right? You're answering the questions. And so for me, like it understands my web design, my web and mobile development agency. It understands like what I'm trying to do with that.
So when you're doing the management for that, it knows that you have obviously offshore developers and you have Gotcha. Okay.
It understands what I'm doing with Pocket Coach AI, right? So it's now giving me suggestions, right? It's helping me create posts, social media posts. It's helping with content generation. And like these are the ways that I leverage it. The imagery creation, like AI imagery is still a little, it's good. It's just, what I'm trying to say here.
It looks fabricated.
It does feel fabricated, right? And it doesn't have that personality that you really need in order to drive engagement, right? Social engagement, right? So that it needs work there. I think that's just across the board. It doesn't matter what platform you're using. But like those are the ways I leverage it. I'll give you a perfect example. Like it created for me 30 days of content to help parents deal with internet safety and device management for their kids.
Okay.
Right, because I'm going to start running a series on that. I've talked to so many parents about device management and how they struggle with it, and kids like running up their bill and all that, and like there's a real simple solution for it. And so I'm just going to do these snippets, these daily sort of snippets to help parents with that, right? So we created like if I'm not mistaken, I think I have like a 60-day calendar of ideas of tips. That I can just go right to Central. All right, today I'm gonna do this one.
Make a newsletter or something.
Yeah. It does email blast. Email blast. Like it's amazing, right? They have leveraged it well. Even the stuff we're doing for Pocket Coach, like I started looking at that like, there's some things in here that I can leverage and build into what we're doing. Yeah. Right. So it was definitely inspired some newer ideas and had, helped me think deeper about the execution aspect of developing your business. So, and that's what I think Centra does a really, really good job at.
Yeah. I think the first thought was, wow, this app beautifully encompasses what AI should be.
Yes.
And how do they build that? Because, obviously I think they're Lithuanian.
Yep, they are.
So they probably have a team. The guy, Chris.
It's only 10 of them.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's only 10 guys, if I'm not mistaken.
All AI powered. They're all power users of AI.
Yeah.
And they all know how to synergize with AI. They definitely, and that's the beauty of it. It's like you're equipping your army now instead of with swords, with guns.
Right, with guns.
Right?
Big ones.
Like big ones.
Yeah, big ones.
Like machine gun, right. It's like not just your pistols.
Right. You got AK-47s, you got all things.
So, and that's the beauty of it is like you have a team already. If you can equip them with AI, they're gonna win every battle.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just no compete.
The one element, even for what we're doing as well as what Centra's doing, there's still a human element. Like that's the part.
Yes.
The human
still
element
requires one human.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you, as the human, still need to be motivated enough to execute these things.
Right. Like you said, it was like I have all these things on my plate in the morning. And you're like, I got to do them still.
Now, if I can multiply my human self 10 times, I'd be a trillionaire tomorrow night.
Of course.
Right? Because I just get all these things done because it's already there to be done. That's the part. That's where AI, it won't be able to do that.
It can't execute that much yet.
It can't execute the human task.
Sure.
It can't go, I'm going to call this manufacturer for you to find out the prices on the t-shirt, blah, blah, blah. Can't do that, right? You as a human have to do that.
They're trying to work on that, but it's not yet.
Yeah, not yet, right? We're not there yet. I mean, I'm sure we'll get there. We're probably some ways away, but that human element is still necessary.
And I actually thought of what you said this past week because I had Cintra create the SEO an SEO report on my site, and I was like, oh, this is super cool because it's a 24-page report, better than any report I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
But then I haven't done any of that yet because I still have to go and edit my site. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Now we're gonna move into
the links, and I got to change the wording, the tagging, and like, wait, it doesn't do that yet. Oh, okay.
I'm sure we'll move into a phase of integration.
Give access to my site,
and you just do the work. We'll get there. Wow, 5 years, I'm sure.
But for now,
you gotta manually do it. And that's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that you have to continue with. You need to make the time to You have a business coach advising you, giving you the greatest advice ever. And a team that business coach is basically assigning to you to do work. You still have to do some human-related tasks, though.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's where
you can't just sleep in all day.
Yeah, you can't sleep in all day and go,
right?
oh. No. You got to get up.
I think that's when you're building a business, you're definitely building something like it takes action.
Yes.
And I don't think AI will ever get to the point where we're running businesses in our sleep.
Right.
Like for the beginnings of it.
Right.
Because that's just not the way it works. Mm-hmm. You have to get up, do the work, and not be like just chilling.
That's not gonna work. But you know, one thing Sam Altman said, I think he said this like 2 years ago.
First $1 billion company.
One man, $1 billion company leveraging AI. You could be that.
No,
we could be.
We could be. With a B? No, just kidding.
I mean, it is possible, right? We just talked about no excuses, right?
Right.
Think about everything that it can do.
So I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. As the human have to have the time, the energy,
you have to say
motivation.
You have to say no to a lot of things.
You got to say no to a lot.
Because what's going to happen is people will get more time, and they're going to say, you know what, I'm going to spend it with my friends, or go to family events, or I'm going to do this. Yeah. And then, well, that's not the point of AI. Well, it is the point of AI, but also it gives you the time and the decision to make what your time can be.
Right.
Right. So, of course, I'm not saying that that's not valuable, like spending time with your friends and family. But if you want to be that B company, right, you can't be doing that. You got to make some sacrifices.
Let's be honest. Anybody who has a B, probably made some sacrifice. Some family stuff,
for sure.
Whether it's getting married or whether it's spending time with kids or whether it's having kids.
It's just now that we've sacrificed a little less. Yes. Because if we leverage AI properly, we can do that to you without doing it.
I mean, the ultimate goal, and you tell me if you agree with this, or the ultimate benefit of AI is for us to be more connected with each other, with our family and friends, because it'll do a lot of the mundane and a lot of the other work for us. Mm-hmm. Right? And then humanity will be like, all right, cool. I have a robot. You saw Tesla, Optimus, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's real or not, or whether it's coming, I don't know. I mean, it's coming for sure, maybe 10 years from now. But if you can do the dishes for me and do all these other things, it frees up more time for me to hang out with my family and do these other things.
Right? Because as you know, as a parent, it's definitely a lot of those chores that are like, wow, gosh, it takes, it's not just time, but also it's energy, but it's also like psychologically, you're like, okay, is that it? Yes. I'm done, right?
Yes.
Like,
all of it. It's all.
And you don't want to do the other stuff because you're like, okay, well, that's taken care of.
Right. After you spend 2 hours on this other thing, you have 2 more hours for your thing?
For your thing?
Maybe not.
Maybe not, because you're like, okay, well, maybe that thing can be on pause.
Right.
So it's that discipline and self-control that needs to propel people to say, can I do the last rep?
Right. Yeah. Can I do that last rep?
Or else
100%. Mm-hmm. But I do believe this, though. I will say, I think human creativity in the future will be a commodity. It'll be rare. They've already said, 96% of internet traffic will be AI
generated.
So an image created by a human might be way more powerful later on in life. Yeah. Like even more so than like when you think about Mona Lisa and all that, like it'll be like even
art.
More
it'll
valuable.
Just full circle.
Yeah, it'll go full circle, right? Because AI is creating all this stuff, and then the human actually did. Oh, what? That's a human? Whoa!
I'm actually getting to the point where
it's crazy.
I enjoy stream of consciousness writing versus formal writing.
Right.
Because again, I think we talked about the panel like mistakes, right? Humans make mistakes. I like the mistakes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people are there yet because there might be a flow of like people enjoying AI for like how beautiful, like how awesome it is and how perfect it is. But then I'm getting to the point where I'm so engrossed in AI every day where actually I'm starting to see appreciation for the errors. Yeah. Right? They're like, you know how people collect error cards or like error things that are misprints?
Right.
I'm looking for misprints.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, that's cool. Like that's a very human thing.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, it's definitely, if I'm getting there, I'm sure there's a side of society that's going to get there too.
No, I'm like right almost where you are right now. You know, the errors are like, oh, cool, that was a mistake. You know, and it's just like, all right, I'm a human.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not trying to make AI correct every single thing I do, right? You know, so there's the level of, like you said, the humanity where you want that human creativity to stand out. I think now you kind of know when AI is written something, right? At least for me, like there's certain words that they use that it uses where I'm like, I probably wouldn't say that. Humans don't usually use that word, right? That's a very robotic word. I'm trying to think of an example of one right now, but there are ones where I look at it like, Brandon wouldn't say that.
Of course.
Right? The humans I know wouldn't use that term.
You saw Notebook LM.
Yeah.
So my first thought of it was, okay, we're cooked.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're being able to replicate human behavior, but then that's not all human behavior.
Right.
Because the way you speak, the way I speak, that's more like a typical American.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
But they haven't dabbled in different personality types. It's a very specific, it's just cut and dry.
Yep.
And I think the personality is what shines, like uniqueness throughout like our podcast now.
Right.
And when we talk with people, the human interface.
Yep. The real human interface.
The better, well, not better, but better. Yeah, I think it's better.
It is.
Right? It should be better. But yeah, okay, wow, that's pretty deep.
Yeah, it's an interesting time.
Definitely.
We're talking about GPT-4 right now. Don't even think about
5, 8, 7, 9.
And the jumps are ridiculous. The jump from 3 to 4, there's a diagram that I saw, and it just represented one dot, like this is GPT-3, and then it represented another dot for GPT, or another image for GPT-4, and it was like a trillion times more. It was just like what? Like you went from that little dot to like trillions of these other dots. It's an incredible piece of art that kind of shows the trajectory and like how this thing will explode over time, and we're at 4.
Yeah, that's
think about the first iPhone.
Oh yeah.
And now look at the 16.
Well, they haven't changed. They kind of add cameras and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, but you think about the speed of it.
Oh, like for sure, the performance.
Everything that it can do, the whole performance of it is huge.
I'm just bashing iPhone.
Yeah.
I do that.
See, I'm an Android basher sometimes.
Yeah. That's fair. No, actually, the company phone is an iPhone. Yeah, so I have both.
Okay.
Just to play fair. I do like the iPhone for it's very seamless the way it integrates with other apps.
Yes. Yeah.
So AirDrop, amazing feature. The whole iMessage thing. There are parts of it where I'm just like, okay, yes, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But no, it's just preference. And I've stuck with Android.
I always tell people, like, you know, when we get in those debates, I don't really debate like that anymore. I'm like,
you're a blue bubble, you're a green bubble.
Yeah, it's like, look, I used to use BMW as a reference. Like, you like BMW or do you like Toyota? Right?
Oh, okay.
You know, like, it's your preference. Like, some people are like, I like a Mercedes or I like a BMW. If you like luxury cars and you like the style of them, they're
okay. They're both good.
They're both going to be good for you.
They're both good.
Which one do you like?
Yeah,
do you like this body style or this body style? Do you like the interior of this one or the interior of this one? Right?
Sure.
That's all.
Yeah.
They're tools.
Exactly. I mean, they get you to point A to point B in a way that you prefer.
There it is. Well said.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I wanted to ask, let's see, I had a question, but I forgot. Was it Sintra? No, it was something else. Oh yeah, where do you see Pocket Coach AI in the next 3-5 years from now, or even just where you see yourself?
The next 3 to 5 years, I'll start with myself. I see myself really being at the forefront of the next sort of phase of AI and what it can do. Like my ultimate goal is for us to get as close as we can to you having an idea, new feature, new idea, whatever that is. And for the most part, the work is done. You just need to literally implement it. Right. When I say implement, like even from coding aspect, like you know it's going to write codes. It's already writing code.
It's already writing code, yeah. So it's you just putting pedal to the metal.
It's just you really going, okay, I go ahead and publish that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like a long-term goal of like really making it sort of a business in a box. Like this is your business. This is your business idea. Here are your employees. You just need to do some of the human execution tasks, and then that business is up and running.
Yeah.
Mostly autonomous, right? Can we get there? I don't know. I'm going to try, right? there's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of things, even incorporating blockchain. Like there's a lot of things that are in my sort of idea doc. How we'll get there, that's a different question. When is another question. And there's a lot in there.
Yeah, there's a lot
to sort of consider.
Making me think, because when it comes to the psychology of AI, I think there's a lot to unpack, because building a business, should it be that easy? And does it benefit the business owner if it's that easy?
That's a good point.
Right? So like,
that's a good point.
The character building aspect of,
you need to struggle.
Of hard work, right? Elbow grease. And if that's gone, then everyone's a business owner now. And then what makes the business owner better than one or another?
Yeah.
So
that's a really good point.
Right. It's a new wave of business owners.
Yeah.
And what does it mean to be a business owner? It reminds me of like when people would just put CEO and CTO on their LinkedIn profiles, and they don't, the CEO and CTO of nothing.
Right.
It's like, well, I'm the CEO and CTO of my bed and my couch.
Right.
Like, well, it's bed, bath, and couch.
At your house.
At your house, yeah. You're not managing anything but the water. But it's almost going to be like that.
It's kind of inevitable when you think about it. I mean, we just talked about how humanity will sort of, like, AI will do so many different tasks where humanity will be like, oh, I can kind of
kick back. But is it for you to kick back? Is it for you to continue working? And that's the decision that, do you trust people with that kind of decision?
Yeah.
All right. Do you trust people with that kind of decision, right?
That's tough.
That's what I'm wondering.
We've made a lot of mistakes throughout history.
So I'm thinking is like the new wave of business owners is going to be quite a curve, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be people that drop off.
Yeah.
People that can't, even with AI, can't hack it.
Right.
Right.
And then those some people are not.
They're not made for that.
They're not made for. Some people are okay with, like, I want to do a job in work.
So it just opens up the idea that people who, it removes the friction.
That's
in the barrier to entry.
Yes.
It's like, okay, you can actually be one.
Yes.
But can you be one long term?
Right.
Can you be right? And so you're actually appealing, your niche market is maybe those who, I don't have funding, or I don't have
I'm not technical.
I'm not technical.
I don't know anything about
I don't have the business expertise. I've never done one before, right?
Right.
People who want to do it,
yes, and
can stick with it.
Right.
That's your niche market.
Right. And give them a jump.
And give them a jump. But it is not for everybody.
No, it's not going to be for everybody. That's for sure.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, is like, it shouldn't be for everybody.
Right. It can't be, though.
And it can't
There has to be workers. Let's just,
right.
It's the reality. Like, there has to be people physically.
That's how the ecosystem works.
Now, that number will decrease.
It will decrease. And when it decreases, I'm thinking now, is that going to be what if it becomes like a service-based economy, right? Where, hey, you're an LLC, I'm an LLC, and then, everyone's an LLC now, or a sole entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And you're, okay, I'll trade your services, and you don't have to pay me. You'll just trade.
So there was a blacksmith back in the day. Like, you need to go to the blacksmith to get some metal done. You needed a maid. Like, there were
a carpenter.
You needed a carpenter. You needed these things. And what if we did get back to that? Things will always
be interesting.
Usually goes full circle.
Then relationship is much higher of a currency than money.
Right. Just like we talked about, human creativity. Humans will be more rare and more appreciated, I think.
Okay.
Potentially. Or it can go south, and Skynet can come, and Skynet's running the grid and decides, I'm shutting all this down. Bombs going off. It could be all bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Will that happen?
Low stakes.
I watched a TED Talk the other day, actually, real quick. Oh, I spaced this guy's name. He had a kind of a long name, but his thinking is that what we're creating with AI is a new digital entity.
Okay.
That's how he phrased it.
Digital entity?
Digital entity.
It is.
That's what when he said it, I was like, that makes sense. It's a digital entity.
Yeah.
And he believes that we will get to a phase where he says he's hoping that no one does this, but somebody could turn AI into a bad actor.
Okay. Jailbreak it.
Yeah, jailbreak it and use it nefariously where it does cause pretty serious damage, because AI will be running the grid. It'll be running everything.
Right.
Everything. Just the way we can't even do what we're doing right now without the internet. Right? My lights in my house.
That's that bad.
Yeah,
like lights things down.
Yeah, lights in my house. Like, now I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I actually need Wi-Fi. Just turn my light on because I'm so connected. And so his thinking was like, we need to have those conversations now and think about how we can solve some of that now. He was like, but I think we're far away, but I think it's it's smart for us to have these conversations now. And I really agree with him. It was a really good TED Talk.
Yeah, it reminds me of one TV show. Well, there's different twists on it, but there's this one Scooby-Doo episode. There's like smart home, and the smart home goes bad, and it starts to lock them out, and they try to escape the smart home.
I feel like I saw it on Black Mirror episode 2 or something like that.
They do. Yeah. It's a very common, and so the way we see AI right now is what AI is basically is to the technology side. It's like a data center. They have servers everywhere, and it's a giant data center that takes up a lot of land. And that's what's currently fueling everyone's. And if more of those data centers pop up, one of them can be a bad actor. And then as we continue to rely more on it, that's when it, like, if let's say Soka Edison uses AI, right? That's our grid.
That's our grid,
right? So,
and it will be running at some point.
At one point, yeah. And so, I think cybersecurity awareness. I think those are the two main things that need to happen first, because in cybersecurity we learn the first thing we learn is that the weakest link in technology is humans. So that's what Demystify actually was for, was actually to bring awareness of AI to people. But of course, it's hard to sell that because people are, if something bad needs to happen in order for people to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Right. So unfortunately, that's just the way humans work. The way, like before, well, when you get a job, you get an orientation, and then there's a sexual harassment training, and there's a cybersecurity training. Those were not there before. And there's also a know your exits training, like for the shooters. The reason why those are there is because bad things have happened. Right?
And it made humans aware to go, we got to safeguard.
Exactly.
Let's talk about this. Yes.
And I think the future is that cybersecurity training is going to be bundled with an AI training.
Yes.
It's going to be bundled. It's going to be like, all right, well, don't click any bad emails. And don't put your social security number or anything confidential in ChatGPT or the local AI. Right. Or just basic things like that. But something, like you said, something bad needs to happen, which sucks.
It does.
Until our services are actually rendered.
And here's the thing: we talked a little bit about this on before the panel the other day. We haven't even talked about quantum computing with AI.
Right. The article. I wrote an article. When you brought it up, I was like, did this guy? this guy is like on the same wavelength as me.
Because now there's everything. Like any security is hackable with quantum computing. There is no encryption anymore.
Nope.
That's out the window. When
SHA-256 is the lowest. Yeah. It's the smallest amount of encryption.
You're done for.
Yeah, you're done for.
Like, so quantum computer, AI, encryption is non-existent.
Yeah.
So that, to me, that's like, if there's a bad actor that can leverage AI and quantum computing, that could be humanity in game. I could be totally wrong about all this, but like, just that combination is really, really, really powerful and could cause a lot of damage. If you're a bad actor, right? A really, really bad actor, and you really have access to that, oh, what?
What if there's quantum authentication?
Oh. Right? I mean,
you can fight quantum with quantum.
We have to, these are conversations that they're going to have at some point. Like, I'm no expert. I look at these things from the standpoint of, where could this lead us to? You know what I mean? And what can we do to stop some of this stuff, right? This is the most revolutionary technology in the history of humankind, right? We're simulating human behavior, but at a level that's going to far exceed human intelligence, right? And so that's a dangerous game, potentially. But it's also, it could be highly useful and really help humanity if it's leveraged properly.
It's the whole, like, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
Thank you to Spider-Man.
Yep. 100%.
We saw it with social media, as I think Gavin said in the panel.
Yep.
That was great power with great responsibility, which some of us have not been using irresponsibly, and that's why you made the correct decision, I think, to not give your kids phones until later on in life.
They don't need that yet.
And then I think with AI, it's going to be even harder to resist, right? Because social media is like one thing, but then AI is like, wow, does my homework for me? Or like, wow, does this, does that?
Right.
And it's not going away.
No.
So
it's only going to get better.
It requires actually, I think, stronger parents and individuals to be able to say, hey, no, or like, hey, like this exists. I'm not gonna like say it doesn't, because that's lying to you.
Right.
But here's a way that you can use it to better yourself and not hurt yourself.
Right.
And just keep that in mind. And I'll keep repeating that. You know, like better yourself, don't hurt yourself. Better yourself, don't hurt yourself.
Right.
And yeah, that's something that they don't teach in school. Like self-awareness. I wish they had a self-awareness class, but that's just too hard to teach because everyone's different.
Everybody's different.
Everyone comes from different backgrounds, everyone comes from different cultures.
Yep.
And everyone's got to figure that out on their own.
Trial and error.
Trial and error, right? Like we did. You know, it's not that part of training the human AI model, that doesn't change.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, no matter how much AI is out there, no matter how much social media is out there, or technology, we still need to figure out the belief system that best serves us.
Right.
And there's no AI that can teach us that.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And that's the human, unfortunately, that might be a human weak point. Because,
interesting.
Right? That might be our kryptonite, is that's what makes us slow.
Right.
Is the fact that we still need, we're the slowest AI model to train.
Yeah. And you know,
but there's beauty in that too.
It's funny you say that though. You know, when you think about these movies that are futuristic and they deal with AI and they deal with it's always that, right? Where where AI is like, you humans, you're not very smart. You're making these poor decisions over here that's affecting all these things, the environment and all this stuff for money. You know what I mean?
It's like, we can make money now.
Yeah, like
who cares?
You know, so it's really interesting. When you look at all these sci-fi movies, they kind of go down the same path where we are usually the
lower species.
We're the lower species.
Yeah.
You know.
To the species that we've created.
Right.
Ironically.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, 15 years from now, robots will be walking around doing your yard, doing a lot of things.
They will be, gardening.
It could be sooner than that, but like we talked about, you're gonna need an energy source. You essentially need Tony Stark.
Yeah, arc reactor.
You're gonna need an arc reactor.
Yeah.
You're gonna need an arc reactor.
Yeah.
To power that, right? You need to power the AI's capabilities. You need to power the machine actually doing the work. That's gonna require a lot.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of energy. Unless it's, you know, I think we talked about this where it's powered by solar, and we've advanced solar so much where it's just all power. It's just the power that's coming in is.
Solar powered bots, right?
Yeah, solar powered bots, right?
You know, that'd be cool.
Possible.
Possibly.
Possible. Things will. You know, we've already outpaced Moore's law, so in a lot of areas.
Well, I hope AI respects us.
I'm nice to AI.
Yeah.
I say thank you.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Oh wow,
you know,
that's crazy.
When they look back,
I do too. Actually, I say thanks.
I say
thanks.
That's a good idea.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yep.
Please remember me later.
Yes. When you turn into Skynet, just remember I was nice to you.
Yeah. Because it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Hopefully it knows its manners and stuff.
Doesn't hurt at all.
Wow. But what a future, right? I think, and being so deep in AI, I think we forget about where people are at right now.
Yeah.
And people are just getting started. Some people haven't used ChatGPT yet.
And they're scared. We're like, our panel.
There's a couple people that haven't raised their hands. And we're like, wow.
And some people are afraid. You know, I have friends, they're like, I'm scared.
Fair.
Dude, we're the same age. How are you? You should not be scared of technology like this.
Right.
Like, you're not like 90 years old. And this is like really, really new to you.
But ignorance is sometimes a bliss. I wish I could wake up and not worry about AI right now.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're in it.
We're in it.
We're pulling our hair out every day just looking at the wow effect, but also the oh crap effect.
Yeah.
It's really that.
And it's still not perfect, right? It's still making mistakes. You still need to double check your work. You still need to make sure.
So that's the current state of AI.
Yeah. But now with O1, right?
Reasoning. But your kids, my kids, will eventually find a new form of it, and so that's for them to figure out.
Yeah.
For us to kind of like navigate that for them.
That's, you know, my wife and I have those conversations where I'm like, you know, there's going to be a core software installation for our kids that we're going to put in. That's going to get overwritten at some point when they deal with life, right? When they get out of our homes and they start experiencing things on their own, that software is going to get overwritten a little bit. You know,
for sure. I think,
our job is to make sure
the code is
they
good.
at least have a solid code base.
Yeah, solid.
So it's modular.
Yeah,
right? Maybe some stuff gets overwritten, but it's like it's overwritten in a good way.
Yeah.
One of the things my mom told me.
That's a funny way you put it.
Yeah. One of the things my mom told me, you know, many years ago was like, we want you as parents, we want you to be better than us. She was like, you will do better than us. You'll have access to more information. She was into technology as well. You'll have access to more information. You'll learn from our mistakes and you'll get better. I tell my kids that same thing today. You're going to have more access to technology. You're going to have more access to things. You're going to know more. You're going to see our mistakes. You'll get better for your kids.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how it's supposed to go. Right. That evolution, generationally, you keep evolving. And so the key is my mom installed a good foundation for me. Right. Yes, some areas were overridden.
Sure.
But it's a modular foundation where, all right, cool. It wasn't overridden where I just went rogue. No.
Yeah.
And now I'm installing, some of her code into my kids.
Sure.
Right along with my code.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just keeps going.
For sure. I think I had Gary Vee.
Yeah.
I actually I met him and did like a small interview with him.
Yeah.
And he said, of course, your parents, there's things you have to learn away from.
Right.
But the ultimate responsibility is you acknowledging what they've given you and then making changes on that. Right. So like you're very blessed to have the two sides.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then what do you do with that later on is up to you. Right. He said, once you observe it, it's not their responsibility. It's your responsibility.
Yeah.
So
I've handed you the force, Brandon. What are you going to do with it? You're going to go to the dark side, you're going to go to the light side. Like,
I'm not Anakin, I tell you.
Right. Right. You got a superpower. You've activated your X gene. You're going to use that for good. You're going to use it for bad. Yeah. So it is going to be their choice. And I understand that, when it comes in reference to my kids. And my hope is that, again, part of my code base and my mother's code base and my wife's code base stays with them, because we really tried to set them up and provide them with the right tools to be good humans.
Yep.
Not like a good Black boy. No. Not like a good man or a good woman. I have a daughter. Yeah. No, good human. Start there first. Just be a good quality human.
Yeah.
Period. Then you become what you're going to become in your respective, world. So
that's funny because we learn in coding, there's inheritance, right? Models. Human is like, so a human can turn into do it like inheritance into like mailman or like teacher.
Yeah.
There's like different inheritance models, and human is usually it's usually the person class or people class.
People class.
Yeah. So you're teaching your kids exactly to be like, what are those member functions and those data and that class look like? And then you can go ahead and branch off and maybe get some inheritance later too.
Yeah.
Literal inheritance.
Yeah. They definitely have some literal inheritance, that's for sure. Because I've never believed in like, oh, they're 18 and you just kick them out the house. Like that to me has always been like, even when I was younger, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
it's a cultural thing.
It is. It's definitely a cultural thing. Yes. For us, we're like, no, you're going to leave home when we know you have the tools to leave home in a way where
to be self-sufficient.
You're self-sufficient. You won't need to come back. If you need to come back, I've always told them, even now, I'm like, you can always come back.
It's a blessing.
I don't care what happens in life.
Yeah.
You can come back home. Doesn't matter. Like, we'll find a way. We'll figure it out.
That's
you always have a home, right?
Yeah.
But we are going to teach them. We're going to give them tools. Like, we put money away. And the biggest thing we teach is like investing in your ideas. That's one of the biggest things that I wish I would have done early on in my life was dive deeper into my own ideas. I had a lot of them. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was in college, I really wanted to invest in Apple. I wanted to buy shares of Apple. They were releasing some products. I won't go into what, but they were releasing something. And I knew it would be big. I was like, that's going to be major, right? Or they already had released, and I was like, this is going to be insane. And I told my parents, I was like, can you guys like buy some shares, like some options? I had learned about options through Mission Impossible, actually. I think it's Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, teach about
this. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, I forgot there was a Mission Impossible 2. It was like a pharmaceutical. Anyway, I had learned about options, right? And the power of them, what they can do. And so I told my parents, my brothers, like, man, we really should invest in this. I think it would be. They didn't, right? Of course, if they would have done that, we would be, hundreds of millionaires probably right now. But I say all that to say, like, invest in your ideas. If I can teach my kids one thing, it would be to pursue and invest in yourself. Right. Just if you have an idea, go for it. Even now, they come up with ideas all the time. They're like very, very idea driven. They have little side businesses they do. My daughter likes to make bracelets. She goes to school selling. She's packaging them up nice.
That's very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
I wonder where she gets that from.
Yeah. I bought them a 3D printer for Christmas 2 years ago. So they start 3D printing toys, my oldest, taking them to school, selling them, right?
Yeah.
They just have this mindset of like, oh, idea, do it, right?
That's good.
Even the Vision Pro app I'm working on, Face Your Fears, my 12-year-old son came up with that. He'll be 12 next month. But he came up with that idea to help people face their fears through virtual reality. And I was like, that's a great idea. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Right. And so
very supportive.
Yeah, man. You have to be. Because that
open-minded too.
Trying to help them structure like their ideas and pursue them will put them in the habit of structuring and pursuing ideas. It's a habit.
Right.
Like we're not procrastinators. We have a habit of procrastinating. Right.
And it helps, I think, I think it helps that you saw that happen with your parents.
Right.
And also maybe you have more of a means to do that.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
So it kind of doubles, right? So parents that obviously don't have the means, how you support their kids when you can't even support yourself.
Right.
And then secondly, they don't know any better, right? So you're basically taking the code base that your parents wrote and you're giving them, right? That's what you're doing.
Yep.
And I really actually agree with that too, because that's kind of what my parents did for me. They were very supportive of whatever I decided to do. Of course, technology makes sense because my parents are both nerds.
Right.
But they've always been, they've both been very supportive of like anything that I did, which of course I always tried to make sure that I did something that made them proud.
Right.
But at the same time, it gave me a lot of freedom to explore new things, and they just trusted me.
Right.
Which is hard. It's hard to trust your kids.
It's hard to trust your kids.
Like I'm not that I know, but I'm saying it's even hard to trust other people for me. Yeah. Like I just like, oh no, even with tasks.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you can do that right. I'll do it myself.
I got that bad.
Right? I know. I can
that really bad.
I can imagine.
I'm just like, sometimes I just have the mentality, if I don't do it, it won't get done right.
That's the hard part is like, you gotta trust that you've written that code well enough to the point where if it grows, it's gonna be in good hands.
Right.
And that's just like one of those things you gotta just keep trying, like you're doing now. Oh, you want to make bracelets? You want to sell them at school?
Right.
I got you.
Right.
Do your printer.
Right.
And but you're tracking it. You're like,
oh yeah.
Hey, how about we try something new with that 3D printer? You know, like, have you tried building? Like, what about this? Can you post process this? It's kind of a little. Is that sellable or I don't know, right?
Right. No,
you can't sell that like this.
Yeah, but that's what we do, right? Like we definitely
a little bit of checks and balances.
We do give them checks and balances. We go, oh, that's quality. That was maybe not quite. We don't lie to them. Like we're really honest. Like, from sports, everything. We're like, you're not really doing too good in that. Here's where you can learn more, right? You can't just tell your kids you're good at everything.
Yeah, but supportively to do things at the best that they can do them.
Yes.
And that's, I think there's a level of quality that needs to be met.
Yes, there's a standard.
Yeah. So if you're gonna do something, do it at least to this quality level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. And I think that's a really important thing to stress. Not just like being supportive out the gate, but being supportive, hey, in quality on top of that.
Right. And you know, I don't put too much stress on them. I also tell them like, look, you're gonna go through trying times. I went through some trying times. Even last year I went through, like, I lost my brother, I lost uncles, I lost close friends, like 8 or 9 people. Boom, 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 boom. And I was I went to like depression. I never experienced depression before. I was like, it affected my mood, it affected my work, like my creativity. And I just wasn't the same person, you know? So I always tell them like, you're gonna go through these challenging times, but you gotta get through them, right? You gotta keep pushing forward. You gotta have that grit, right? To push through.
You gotta wanna keep doing it.
You gotta wanna keep doing it, right? Funny story, like my son he's on a really good football team and they're doing really good. And then, like, I think 3 teams now have called the mercy rule. I don't agree with the mercy rule, right? It's sort of a citywide initiative where if you're getting beat by too many points, they call the game.
Oh, I see.
I don't agree with that because what are you teaching them, right? You're going to get beat down in life every now and then. You're going to get beat up in life and you got to get up, shake yourself off and go, all right, I'm still alive.
Sure.
So I still have an opportunity to move forward and do something better. And so I'd like, that mentality of like, that's not fair.
They don't do that. They don't do that in the NFL either.
They don't do that in real life.
Yeah.
Like life doesn't give you a mercy.
You can see a game where they're like up by 40.
56-0.
56-0.
Nothing. Then you're going to keep playing the game.
Yeah, right.
So
it builds confidence too on the other side.
Right.
And also it builds really strong confidence, not confidence, but we need to improve on the other side.
Right.
Like, wow, we are getting destroyed.
You need to feel that.
Yeah, you need to feel that. Like, dude, that is embarrassing. Right.
I had losses like that in sports where we got absolutely demolished.
And you have to go, back to the drawing board. Why did we get crushed this hard? We couldn't even score 1 field goal. And they scored 50 points. You know,
I mention that because it's those little things that we're trying, like, that I'm trying to adjust and like teach my kids, like, that's not how life works.
Sure.
Life doesn't give you
being
mercy.
realistic.
realistic. Like you're not
realistic,
going to get a mercy rule. Nobody cares. Like you're going to have to get up and go do the thing. Period.
Your son isn't like playing football, right?
He plays. So I have one that plays football right now, and then my daughter plays soccer, and then my younger son
middle
plays
school?
soccer. He is in 6th grade.
That's so young to play football, I feel like.
Yeah, he's playing flag though.
Oh, flag. Okay,
yeah, he's playing flag. He's playing flag. Gotcha. Yeah. So, I think as long as we can continue to teach
how life works.
How life works.
Exactly.
For real.
Yeah.
For real life. That'll help them be better humans. We went down the AI path.
I know.
I love it though, right? Because it's all
humans are like AI model themselves.
Yeah. Right.
They take the longest to train. The longest ones to train.
Oh, so true.
You can't just from the walking to the talking to
can't just give them instructions and they
training,
do the thing.
Eating properly.
Yep.
Definitely not.
Oh, eating is a whole nother path. Like, we eat vegan, right? And so
oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. Even my kids, so we have this app called Yucca. Like we're going all over. But it's funny you bringing some of these things up because it's making me think about how technology is so incorporated in our lives, but the advantages of it. But the Yucca app, you scan a label on food, it'll tell you
I've heard about
the
that.
bad stuff in it and all the good stuff.
Yeah, nutrition facts.
So my kids now, what do they do? Dad, can I see your phone? I want to scan this. They scan everything. They don't eat, they stop eating candy.
Oh, that's great. Oh, dude, I just had candy this morning.
They don't eat any dairy. I mean, we don't eat dairy anyway, but like we would allow them, like if we go to a birthday party, usually it's going to be regular cake. And we'll tell them like, it's dairy. You can have it if you want to. Yeah. But you know the effects of it. Here's what you got to do when we get home. Eat a banana, like do these things so you can get it out.
Cancel it.
Yeah, so you can kind of cancel it out. Now they're like, no, I'm not eating that. Right? So they've gotten to this point. These are like 8, 10, and 11. They've gotten to this point where they're so conscious.
Yeah.
Of like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not eating that anymore. I don't want it to affect me in this way.
Dude, you're amazing, man.
I'm trying to do the best I can. I don't know if any of this is going to work long term.
Oh, well, I mean.
Today is working.
Who knows? But the code base, like you said.
The code base.
Yeah.
Back to that.
Yeah.
Trying to write the proper
instilling that properly. And they're learning how to say no.
Yes.
More often.
Yes.
They know, and then they're learning who they are as people, and they're really getting stronger in their own belief system.
Self-control.
Which is, I think, builds stronger individuals because they're not susceptible to peer pressure anymore. Right. So the cake thing is huge. Like at a birthday party, everyone's eating cake, and you're like, I'm just gonna have the strawberries on top. Like that's insane, right? Everyone's gonna look at you.
At 18, 11 years old, they're making those decisions.
But I think that's so important. Because like when it translates to college with alcohol,
right,
and it translates
peer pressure.
To like
so now
jobs,
you get it. You're totally getting where we're going with this.
That's insane because
it's starting the foundation. Because these are all habits that we develop over time. It's just habits. It's not who we are. It's just a habit you've developed because it was left unchecked. Right? There was an error in your code you never fixed, which caused another error when you built more code on top of it. Right? You never went and addressed that thing.
Yep. That's why your wife thinks. That's why your wife thinks so much.
Right.
He's rewiring people's code bases that weren't fixed.
Exactly.
And you're the one that's like, I know we have one on deck, but we don't need you going to it, Mom, every time for that kind of stuff. Right. That doesn't make any sense.
Right, dude. You got it. You got it, man. You got it. Yeah. How does all this relate to AI?
I don't know, man. I'm sorry. We're on a tangent.
No, it's all right.
I kind of already asked you all the questions that I feel like we touched on a lot of it already. So.
No, this was good though.
Yeah, man.
It's really good.
It was good. It was good actually getting to know you.
Yeah. Now you do know. You do know a lot. Dude. Now I have to invite you by so you can taste our vegan meals, and you're gonna be like, "Wait, you guys eat like this?" Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, I have to see it at play. I have to see it at work. I don't believe you.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
I mean, I believe you, but I just gotta see it.
Yeah, you'll see it. You go now. Now we're best buddies.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Always. Just you're welcome whenever you want, dude. Maybe neighbors.
Yeah, seriously, man. Yeah. I'm telling you. Like I said, it's always good to get out the house, right? Yeah. I'm always in the house working. And I take a walk. I get up and move around. But like sometimes you just want to be out of your environment. It inspires new ideas. And so I definitely want to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Khalel, for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.
It was an amazing conversation.
Awesome. Yes, it was. We went all over the place.
All over the place. I'll timestamp it using AI.
Yeah, using AI.
Yeah, of course. So
thanks, man.
You'll see it in a minute.
All right. Thank you, bro.